just a slightly inebriated nighttime walk and talk. I don't think it's going to be very long. I just wanted to touch down on a few things. I've had a few days, just a bit of a break. Trying to make fresh content every day. I don't really do I don't really do it unless I feel it, you know. So yeah, I do feel a bit bad about the way I spoke about other preppers. I stand by my opinion on taking payment from a very damaging corporation, massive corporation, powerful corporation. I've got issues with that from a very moral standpoint, and I stand by that. I'm just trying to find Zeph. Yeah, there she is. So, my take on the current situation, because I'm sure that there are lots of you out there that are kind of worried about where this is headed and whether we'll see giant mushroom clouds on the horizon, you know. I'm sure that's crossed a lot of your minds, and it's crossed mine, you know. That's why I posted that just in case pills, anti-nuke pills in the community section. And look at it like this. Look at it like this. So we are, you know, whether you're a spiritual kind of person or whether you're not, if you're subscribed to this channel, if you're part of our little tribe, then it's possible that you'll think a certain way, with logic, and even to people that don't subscribe to the whole what's been coined woo-woo, you know, another negative term for something to make it come across as irrelevant, you know, like when they invented the term conspiracy theorist, because they just saw people like us as a threat, because we thought outside the box and we could see their shenanigans. And yeah, so what they do is they demonize people. That's what they've been doing for thousands of years. So we've got a group of people. This is so multifaceted. So we've got a group of people that are at the top of, again, this is all speculation. I'm just going to give you a couple of versions of how I think things are and why they are the way that they are. So with America and England, I think they contain the people. In fact, there's a few other countries as well. Well, there are specific families that are right at the top of the pyramid. We don't really understand yet what's at the tip of that pyramid. But even to those out there that don't subscribe to the whole woo-woo thing, you've got to admit that to us, there's no recorded example of a mass awakening to the truth, to the light, as there is right now. It is a phenomenon. It really is. So to those who aren't spiritual, you know, again, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in a book, and I do, you know, I'm not going to apologise to those of you who are, because I don't believe in a book. I don't believe in a book. Everything you need is within. So yeah, even to the most kind of rational people that might be listening to me speaking right now, you've got to admit that there is definitely something really, really unusual, massive and profound going on right now that can't really be explained away with science. It can't. But the problem that we've got now, or one of quite a few really, at the moment, is that those people right at the tip, or the top, should I say, the top of the pyramid, have had so much power, so much unbelievable power and influence. It's ridiculous. You know, even connected to the Catholic Church. And again, I know a fair bit more than you think I might. I'm just trying to, I want to strike. And again, I don't like the whole self-censorship thing. But I see it as temporary. So the people right at the top of the pyramid have had so much power and so much influence for so many years, so many centuries, that people like that, they've never really experienced real life. So they're not normal. They're not normal, you know. And I know that the word normal, the term normal, is, you know, depends on where you're from, and your culture, and your country, your individual person, not person. I'm trying to get out of using words that mean that you're not a breathing man and woman, you know. But you get my idea. And these people, these powerful families that have kind of ruled over us, they're all interconnected as well. It's unbelievable, you know. What a web. So my point is that they're not prepared to relinquish that power, that level of power, because that's what they've been used to. You know, imagine having so much money and so much power that you can have complete control over what happens in most of the world, you know, to some degree or another. And you know, these sick big families that have been around for a very long time and have changed the name along the way have, you know, so say you start off as a dolly, which is what I've been in, you know, plenty of times in the past, in between jobs, and you're looking at one bag of rice in your food cupboard. That's it. So if I had, you know, 4 or 5 tins of various soups and pasta in sauces and all that when I was living in Bedsit that would have been like, yeah, I've got that because I could afford that. And then the following week you've got, you know, better quality food, more expensive food. You notice these incremental improvements on your life. But you imagine being born into a family like the Rothschilds, for example. You'd never ever understand the reality of life and suffering. Never. And that's been, and this sort of genetic information gets passed down from generation to generation. This is a scientific fact. So the offspring of each, I'm just giving Rothschilds as an example, because there are quite a few. They're just cold, you know, soulless. And because they're soulless, they will do whatever they can to survive. You know, if they're aware of some sort of, you know, some bizarre occult type thing, it wouldn't surprise me. There is so much to this world that we just don't understand. You know, not, you know, by way of possibly being unable to comprehend it. And some of these families could have been privy to this, you know, these mad, weird, give up your soul for eternity and blah blah blah. So I know that some of you might be thinking I'm waffling a bit. I'm just trying to build a picture up on the mentality and the psychology behind families like that. And they are not going to want to relinquish that power. They'll have bunkers that would just blow your fucking mind away. Blow your mind away. Because they could spend and still never make a dent on their actual physical wealth. So they've got the power, the influence and the money to build self-sustaining underground cities, which I think is right throughout America, and I've mentioned that in a previous video, and I stand by that. And they will have had all of the data from experiments done in the ISS, perfecting water purification and recycling moisture and stuff like that in space. So if you can do it in space, you sure as shit can do it underground, you know. So just turn your piss into drinking water and irrigate it, you know, state-of-the-art irrigation, mass farming, fake farming, but still they will have we're so many years, as consumers, we're so many years behind this level of technology that they have, because they funded it. So we'd be left on the surface, and again, just trying to use just one family of many, and I know that a lot of you know who those families are, the top 5, and they would have unbelievable state-of-the-art technology that they've just been building on for decades and decades and decades, you know. And there's a saying: when everything else fails, go to war. And I've learned so much about World War One, World War Two. You know, I loved history at school, and I had a decent history teacher that was kind of, I think he was a little bit suspicious, really, about the information that we were being taught. So I did notice that it would come over to certain kids, including myself, and say, but what if that happened? Have a think about that. You know? Decent teachers, but you know, proper, decent teachers. All teachers should have a critical mind, because then they can give the kids they're teaching a multiple of perspectives on one thing. You know, shit like that blows kids' minds. It does. I'm qualified to teach, you know, and thinking outside the box, and to try and get things to go in people's minds and really get that grey matter working, you know. And we're lacking that in the education system now. It's almost completely disappeared, you know, because they're not bothered about training workers anymore. That was the whole system. That was what the whole system was built upon. Just training workers, minions. And that system is coming to an end. But, you know, keep listening. So then we've got, you know, is Trump going to take down the cabal? Is Trump going to make America great again? Is Kennedy going to make America healthy again? And then you've got, you know, quite a few people around him that do come across as quite genuine. You know, some of them, though, have been lobbied by Israel. You know, so that throws a few questions up in the air. You know, there's so much to take into account. We need to be scrutinising the fucking shit out of these people. Properly scrutinising every single move they make, because I'll be so pissed off if this is another show, you know. Why didn't Trump free Assange? Sorry, I said Assange. I've actually got a lasagna cooking in the oven, so I've got a nice warm meal to get back to. So why didn't Trump pardon Assange? Why did he not put the Clintons in jail? Why did he not read the JFK files? You know, why did he not fight back when he knew that he'd lost to a rigged, blatantly, proper, in your face, we don't give a fuck anymore kind of way, unviable results? You know? So it was blatant to anyone that was paying attention. But then there are lots of people out there that aren't paying attention. But like I've said before, these people are still taking in information. You know, if you just drop one comment or just one opinion that takes 5 seconds, it's gone in there, and they'll connect that up further down the line. Now, turning all of this into turning all of this into a positive. The threat of nuclear war, the extremely powerful families that won't want to relinquish their power because that's all they've ever known. And if they were investigated as to, you know, their level of kind of manipulation and corruption and crimes on humanity, and you know, they'd be, you know, in a proper, decent, quality, balanced world, they'd have all of their assets just like Alex Jones, so the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, have all of their assets completely and totally taken away from them, and then send them to jail individually for each individual provable crime. So that could, you know, they're thinking, hold on, if Trump is real, if this is really going to happen, I don't place too much faith in one pie. You know, I try and look at lots of other options, and yeah, like I said, the Israel connection to some of Trump's team, and they're starting to build really nice looking beachfront houses on coasts of oh my god, it's gone. So the place that Israel has been smashing the fuck out of, I'm just hoping it'll just come back to me, because I know you're saying it now over and over and over and over. Think Terry, I know. It's so frustrating. Gaza. So on where Gaza meets the coast, you know, it's tropical waters. It's just beautiful. That is a potential paradise. So there are so many places at the moment around the world that are being obliterated and then replaced with beautiful buildings and accommodation, and the people that lived there prior to that were given, you know, chuck them a few quid, because they can't, you know, they didn't have insurance on the house that was stormed away. So they've given up living there because they've had no choice. So all these people move out of these areas, and then the rich people in the club that we're not in, end up with properties all over the world in prime, beautiful, tropical paradises, you know. everything's starting to leak out. This whole Great Awakening thing, you know, it's real. It really is real. And even to people that, like I said, that aren't woo-woo, and I don't like that term, you've got to admit that something's happening, you know. And I know that there are statistically people out there that want it to happen a bit quicker, but do you know, sometimes the devil is in the detail. Sometimes when things are drawn out a little bit, it gives both sides, good and the bad, to think things through before they make the next move. But yeah, I believe there are certain families that are prepared for you know, sort of mutual annihilation type thing. But then you've got the flip side to that. Is Putin in on this? You know, he was one of the young global leaders, but then there's lots of speculation as to why. That maybe, just maybe, he went along a few times, you know, just to work out what was what, you know, get his foot in there and get a rough taste of what it was all about and what their aims were and what their objectives were, and then got himself back out again. So there is that. But anyone, even though they're meant to have some sort of, it's a socialist democracy, which in my head doesn't really work, and it doesn't, you know, because you haven't got freedom is freedom. That's it. You know, it's like if you look at the rainbow, you can mix red with blue and make green, you know. But there are primary colours that you can't make because they just are. Red's one of them. So we've got Russia that's being run by a guy who nobody would ever go up. So the democracy side of it, no one would really go up against Putin through risk of assassination or just being, you know, warned off. So he keeps winning. That's not democratic, you know. I think if the vast majority of Russians had faith in their leader, then that would help. If you were living there, but I don't like the idea of someone self-appointing. It's too much. Sorry, I didn't realise I'd had a flap up, so that was in pitch black for. I do apologise. So you've got a leader of Russia, which is one of the biggest threats to America, the UK and Germany and France in particular. And they've definitely got the weaponry for it. You know, people, and again, this is another thing. You know, so many people are trying to work out how the Chinese caught up so quickly with America as far as tech, you know, weaponry is concerned, and maybe the same about you know, Russia, really. Well, I mean, do any of you guys know about the solar winds? The solar winds hack. You know, that was so deliberate, left wide open, look it up. So all of that that intellectual technology, if you like, all of the details of each patented bit of equipment, and a lot of it was like black ops, you know, not really recorded financially, and all of that was all of that information was stolen from SolarWinds. Look it up, just look it up, you know. And if you can't find it, I'll see if I can find an article on it, because I can't imagine, you know, if you can type in to Google, can men menstruate, and it says yeah, you know, Google, it's got its place, but it's not that reliable, you know, as I pointed out passionately in several videos, that yeah, it's an evil, twisted. But so, because I've ended up stopping and easing up, and then moving forward a bit, and then easing up, because I'm coming to the end of the war, and I want to get them on the lead and then get them home. But I'm determined to leave this on a positive. You should see that. You should see that dog. It's like something out of you just can't see it. It's got so much character. It's so lovely. You see it walking up and down here now and then. There's Zephyr's trying to bring it down like a deer. So, the Great Awakening is a very real thing. So, we're up against pure evil of people that don't feel any of those beautiful, typical human emotional assets like empathy and compassion. All of that it's over generation after generation after generation, you know, and sometimes inbreeding. So you've ended up with families that are completely and totally out of touch with, not only with society, you know, normal society and communities, but completely and totally devoid of any compassion for us. They're just all they are. Everything is about wealth. That's it. And when you can't make any more money, it's like these people think, right, well, what else can we do? You know, we've done everything. You know, we've gone on human safaris. Yeah, look that one up. In the Black Forest. And, you know, we've done everything because we're so rich, we're so powerful, we can afford to do anything. We've got control of the world pretty much, you know. What else can we do? And that's the kind of mindset that these nut jobs have got. They're not really interested in massive consequences. And yeah, it's those not it's the ones that have pulled the strings and held all this power for so long that have got so much to lose, because all you ever need to do is just follow the money. We all know this. It's a set standard rule for